Hey everyone, this is Heather, and this is going to be our weekly crypto recap where we are going to go over some of the more popular coins and see how they are doing in terms of price action and what are some of the setups out there for the next few weeks. So, as usual, we are going to start with Bitcoin, the mother or father of all coins, and let's see what we've got here. So we are going to be using some support and resistance lines, some anchored VWAP supports and resistances. So if you don't know what these things mean, and if you're a new person to trading or crypto trading, what you should do is you should go to our YouTube channel and you should look at our mini series on introduction to trading. We have some quick videos on what these things mean. So again, if you're a new trader, that is a must watch series. So please spend about 30 to 60 minutes on that series, and then you'll totally understand this video. So let's start with Bitcoin. So we can see that Bitcoin actually went down this week. There was this huge red candle because of Tesla or Elon Musk announcing that they won't be accepting Bitcoin as payment, Bitcoin as a payment, sort of Bitcoin as payment. So what we had here was this big red candle, and if you look at the price chart, you'll realize that there is a line where we stopped, and that is a support line. So which is why if you're a new crypto trader, you have to learn about what support and resistance lines are. So you can see that we fell right on this support line, and this was actually a previous support line as well. And you can see once we fell on that line, we immediately sort of went back, and now we are now we are in a reverse direction. So there is no setup right now because one, we just had a big red candle. One really good thing that you can see here is that the volume did not increase much. So here's an excellent tip. When the news came out, there were so many outlets and so many sort of media members, or some people in general, maybe some very experienced people who were saying that this is the end of crypto, or Bitcoin is just going to go to 30k or 20k, or etc. But when you look at this red candle, you always need, when you're looking at, let's say, selling, you always need to look at the volume. And you can see that here, the volume did not increase that much, which means, now you have to intuitively understand what this means. That means that on that huge red candle, on that huge selling day, not many people sold their Bitcoins. There was a decent bunch of people who just, let's say, who got anxious, and they were just afraid to keep Bitcoin as their investment, so they just sold it. But a huge chunk of people who still had Bitcoins did not sell it, which is why the volume here did not increase significantly. Now, when some selling is happening and you are not seeing huge volume, that means that selling is weak. And that's exactly what we saw in the very next candle. Since this selling was weak, we immediately got a reversal. So unless you see huge volume when we are selling, don't become afraid that there might be a huge sellout. As long as we are not seeing huge volume on bearish candles, we are still totally fine. You just keep following these levels and you'll be fine. You'll find tons of setups. You'll be happy in your trading. Don't worry about things until you have these huge volume based sort of red candles. And same goes for bullish candles. So if you're seeing huge volume on green candles, that just means a lot of people are buying. So volume is a really important tool in your trading arsenal. Please remember that. Well, so we have a setup here, but we can see that, okay, right now we are sitting here. If I anchored the VWAP from the low here, from the lowest low, let's see what we have here. So let's do 125 probably, not 125. So we want to anchor it from the lowest low. That would be probably okay. This seems okay. We can see that we are sitting right at the anchored VWAP. We are slightly below it, and what we want to do is we want to go above it, because once we are above it, the anchored VWAP might act as a support level. So right now there is neither a bullish setup nor a bearish setup, at least in short term, for Bitcoin. We need to wait until the price goes up, and let's see once we are here. Once we are here, you can see that there is this resistance level now. There is this resistance. It was a support before. Now we are still below it. So it's a resistance level. And until we cross it, there is no bullish setup. Once we cross it, and let's say we go somewhere around here, then we might want to sort of jump in and go bullish again, because then this level is going to become a support level, and then we might sort of have another short rally maybe towards this level. this would be about maybe 55k, about 54k. So this would then be our exit point. And when I'm talking about these setups, these are all swing setups. So if you want to keep this for as an investment for long term, then you don't even need to look at this video, because in these videos we are mostly talking about how to sort of do swing trading for crypto, where you enter, let's say today, you exit in 5-6 days with $4,000-$5,000 profit for Bitcoin. So if you are an active trader, then these videos are going to be really useful. So as you can see, nothing here. Let's wait for a few days until the price goes up just a little bit, and then there might be a bullish setup. All right, let's look at the 4-hour chart. And even as you can see here on the 4-hour chart, we can see the support level, and we can see that the support level is right now acting as a resistance. So unless we go above it and cross, let's say, this level as well, so this is another level, there is just no bullish setup. So even if you can find a bullish setup, it will be very short term, because there are so many resistance levels above. So let's sort of wait for the price to clear all these levels, and then we go in. So let's look at Ethereum now. So Ethereum has been exceptionally strong in the last, I believe, a few weeks. There was this breakout on 2000. So there was this breakout here, and then there was another breakout here. So from 2480 we went to a high of about 4372. So that was like $2,000 profit in just a week. And then again, with Bitcoin news, we also sort of started to go down here. But since this has a lot of strength, you can see that we went up and we fell almost on the 20 moving average. So if you have watched any of our introduction to trading videos, you'll know that moving averages act as dynamic supports and resistance levels. And so we can see that this level right here acted as a dynamic support level right here. And now we are going up again. So let us see a shorter time period to see why we do not have a good setup right now. Okay, so here you can see that we had, so this was a beautiful support level. You can see that this was the resistance level. We broke out of it. So these candles would have been a perfect bullish setup, because we were below a resistance level. We crossed it. Look at the volume. Always look at the volume. Look at the volume. The volume, when we crossed it, the volume suddenly increased, which means a lot of people are buying, and that's a breakout. Like, that's a breakout that we want to go in. So this would have been a perfect setup. So if you entered here, let's see 3571, you would have sort of gone to about 4348 again. So this was a really sort of 3 to 4 day setup with huge profit potential. So this would have been okay, but now let's say we are going up again. Now we were in a downtrend here. So look at this. So every time we try to go up, we sort of hit this resistance, and then we go back down. And also look at these lines. These are the moving averages lines, and you can see that these are acting as resistance as well. So every time we hit this moving average line, we go back. And this is where we finally crossed it. This. And now right here you can see that the direction of the moving averages has turned upside, and the slope is now positive, which means that we are in an uptrend again. So you always want to buy when you are in an uptrend, and you want to sell when you go in a downtrend. So right now this seems like a decent setup, but there are two things that I'd like to mention. So I am very bullish on crypto, but you can see that we just had a resistance. We tried to go up, but we couldn't cross it. So unless we cross this resistance, I'm hoping we are going to cross this pretty soon, because we have started to consolidate right beneath this level. And when we have a consolidation and then a breakout happens, then those breakouts are really good entry points. So once we break out of this level, then that is going to be your entry point here. We have one resistance about right here as well. So maybe wait till we clear this level, because this seems like a slightly stronger level. So once we clear this level, you can enter right away, and then this is going to be your exit. I believe these are the all-time highs. Yeah, so 4300 is the all-time highs. You can go from about 4100. So this is like $200 profit, hopefully in a matter of hours, when we break out of this level. So that's going to be your buy right now. But for next week or for the next few days, maybe we break out of this level as well. Once we break out of all-time highs, that is always another opportunity to buy, because when we are breaking out of all-time highs, let's say with some volume, then that means that we are at all-time highs. There is no resistance next, so those are always good setups. So there are two setups from this point onwards. One is on the break of this trend line from here to here, and then the second one is going to be once we actually go to all-time highs. So hopefully that helps. I really want to discuss in this video some previous setups, because things change so quickly with crypto. So always sort of look at how the chart has behaved and what were some of the previous setups, because that way you learn, and whenever those setups appear again, you can just go in, because you can see this was a perfect setup. Then this was a good bearish setup, because at this point in time, or probably here, let's say you wanted to buy here, you can't buy here because the trend is now bearish. So until the trend reverses, you shouldn't go bullish. Always follow the trend. All right, let's look at ADA. This actually broke out today, and I don't think I can show that to you right now, but our crypto boards, the ones that we have in our premium Discord, actually signaled this right here and then right here as well. So we have been in this crypto from this point in time. So 1.5, about 1.5, I believe I entered this candle at 1.6, and this is sitting at 2.07. So why did we enter here? Let me explain. So you can see that this was the resistance level right here. Look at the volume. The volume increased as we broke out of here, and that was all of our entries. So this was the entry. Now the price, let's say, increased. The next breakout, so one here, the next breakout is right here. So on the daily chart, it might not look like a breakout, but let me open the 4-hour chart. Even better, let's open a 1-hour chart. So since we are trying to do slightly shorter term trading, we always want to also look at shorter term charts. So anything above or equal to 1-hour chart is a really good thing to look at. So we can see that this was a resistance level. We touched it, and then finally we broke it here at about 1.8, and another signal was generated at 1.8 last night, I believe, where some of the remaining members entered, and you can see that. Look at the volume again. So look at the volume on all these candles. As soon as we broke out, the volume increased as well, which is always good. So this was another break. This was another entry point. Let me draw it out for you. This was another entry point. Right now we are at all-time highs. So another entry point was just right, I believe 1 or 2 hours ago. So now this became a resistance, as you can see, and we actually crossed it just about 1 or 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago actually. So right now we are at all-time highs. You could have entered right here at this candle. Now what you can do is just wait until we come back to this support level. Previously it was resistance, now it's support, and then you just enter right away. So that would be your setup right now. But you can see that just in the last 5 to 6 days, there have been 2 or 3 setups here, and all of them have panned perfectly. So please sort of learn these patterns. The video isn't just giving you sort of direct buy and exit points. These videos are sort of to make you think about these setups, to sort of help you learn these setups and then find them on your own, or maybe use our sort of crypto boards to let them just notify you whenever a new setup comes. Let's see. So we have Doge, everyone's favorite. There is something important that I want to show everyone here, I believe. Let's see. All right, give 23. So when we are drawing these anchored VWAP lines, we always want to go to the lowest low in some recent times. So this was the lowest low. We can see that we broke it. We broke this anchored VWAP support here, and then in the very next candle we went above it. So that sometimes means that although the bears were dominant here, just in a matter of, let's say, hours, or in just a single day, the bulls took over again, and now we are above the anchored VWAP, which is always a good thing. So there is nothing else here on the daily chart. Let's look at the 1-hour chart. So again, you can see that we've been going up, so this was all fine. But here, look at this. This was a sort of downtrend here, and we broke it. Let's see, we broke it yesterday. So today is Friday. We broke it yesterday. So this, whenever you have these downtrends, you can draw these trend lines where you can see we touched it here, then here. We actually just broke out. Again, look at the volume. When we broke out of this trend line, the volume was pretty high. Look at this candle. And so this would have been your entry as well. We entered Doge at about I believe 0.5 2 or 3 days ago. So we are already in, but this would have been your entry, and you are going to ride this entry until we are in an uptrend. So let's see, this would have been your entry. Let's see when is the next entry now. So now we can see that this actually this, so we can see that this was the resistance level, this is the resistance level. So the next entry is going to be once we cross this resistance level somewhere around here, then hopefully we have this last resistance level somewhere around here. The next entry is going to come once we cross it. So with crypto, since technical analysis is a lot easier as compared to stocks, you don't need to invent some rocket science. You just need to follow these levels, look at the moving averages when they are facing down, that's a downtrend. So just wait, as soon as they turn up. So you can see that the moving averages had a crossover. So you could have entered here as well, because this now means when the 20 moving average crosses 20 moving average crosses above the 50 moving average, that just means that the trend is now in an uptrend. So you could have entered here as well. So just use these moving averages, just use support and resistance lines, and that should be it to sort of give you really good setup. You can also use R lines. So you can see we have a support line here. You can see that the algorithm thinks that this is a good resistance line. So probably wait, and look at this is why the algorithm is good. So you can see that this was a support line. The algorithm drew it for you. I couldn't find it when I looked at the chart 1 minute ago. So this was a support line that the algorithm found for us, and you can see that the price actually made the final reversal right from here. So you have two confluence factors here at this point in time. One, you just have a support line below, and the second, we just broke out of this trend line. So whenever you have multiple confluence factors, that's just a perfect setup. So let's see, we have XRP. XRP has been doing pretty well as well. I want to look at, let's say, the 4-hour chart. All right, so we can see that short term we are in a downtrend. So we can see that the moving averages are facing down. So no setup here right now. Let's look at the 1 minute chart. You can see here as well, short term we are in a downtrend. So unless we break this level, now we have a resistance as well. So there is again no bullish setup here unless we actually sort of break this level. So once we break this level and there is some volume, the next resistance is actually somewhere around here. So there is going to be a huge gap between the breakout right from here and this next resistance level. So let's hope we break out from here. We break this trend line and there is some volume. So this is going to be your entry point after that. Let's look at Atom. This is doing pretty good as well. So we can see that we have, these are pretty loose levels. You can see that we have one here, and then final one here. So when you can't draw these levels yourself, just ask the algorithm to draw it for you, and you can see that the algorithm thinks that this is a good resistance level. So since this is the resistance level, let's wait, because there is no volume on any of these breakouts. So let's wait until we break out of this level with some volume, and then that's going to be our entry. Let's see if we can find something on 1 hour chart. This is good because very similar setup. So with crypto, another good thing that you'll realize is many of these setups are very similar. So let's actually, we just looked at XRP and we are actually in this downtrend. We haven't broken out like Atom. Look at the volume. So the volume, these last three ticks, actually the volume had an uptick, and we just broke out of this long term, at least 1 or 2 days, no actually 2 days, at least 1 week trend line in a downward direction. Finally, right, look at this. So at this point, the moving averages also started to go sort of in an upward direction. We had a breakout, high volume, 3 confluence factors, perfect setup, go in. Let's look at DOT. Okay, this looks good. So this is a resistance level, I can see it, so won't use the algorithm. This is the second level. So right now, I believe maybe in the last few hours, this was a really good setup. You can see an uptick in the volume in both of these candles. So when we dip back on this region, there would be an entry here. So if you want and you think that DOT is a good investment, you can probably go in. But again, this is not financial advice. Please always do your own DD as well. Let's look at LTC. So LTC has been very similar to crypto in the last few days because it has a lot of strength as well. So I'm going to see if the anchored VWAP is giving us a support level. Let's draw it right from here. All right, so we have the anchored VWAP support here and we are above it. So right this point is actually a really good entry, right this point, because you can see we have a support level right below the current price, and then the next resistance is somewhere around here. So there is this gap, all this region, that is going to be at profit levels, and once we reach the next resistance, we might want to take profits, or we might want to wait until, let's say, we break out and go to all-time highs or whatever happens. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. All right, on the 1 hour chart, especially in short term, we are actually in a downtrend. So on the daily chart, things looked okay, but here things are looking just a little bit concerning. So let's wait until the moving averages actually start to face upwards, and then let's go in. So on the daily, it looks good, but looking at the 1 hour chart, it looks like we are in a short term downtrend. So let's wait before we break this downtrend before we go in. And you can see that right now, sure, we have a support level. So let's hope we break out of here. Let's hope we break out of this line with some volume. We have a support right below the current price. Again, that would be a really good setup. Let's do one more and let's wrap this video. So dash, let's do dash. Let's just draw the levels. I don't want to draw anything myself. Looks like, again, we have a support level right below the current price. Let's look at the 1 hour chart. Again, the daily looks good, but the 1 hour actually does not look that good. We crossed it with some volume. So again, this is an example where there is no 100% certainty in trading, and every single trader should realize that, because if there was 100% success rate anywhere, then everyone would probably be a millionaire or a billionaire. You can see that we broke out. Look at the volume. The volume was good. So this was actually a pretty decent breakout, and you would have entered it. You still should enter it, because you want to follow a certain pattern or you want to follow a certain strategy. But we immediately sort of broke this trend, and then we went below the trend line again. So this, let's actually talk about risk as well. So once you entered here, what you're going to use as a stop loss or exit strategy is, since this was a resistance, once we crossed it, now this has become a support. So once we cross this support again, it is going to become a resistance again, as you can see. Look at this. So then you're going to just right here somewhere, let's see, you are going to exit probably. Or if you want to, if you know that this is a support level, then you can probably exit here, because maybe you think that we have a support here somewhere around, let's say here. So you think this is going to hold and then we're going to go up. This level actually did not the price did not respect this level, and we actually went down. So right here would be your exit actually. And although we reversed, you have to follow a specific strategy, otherwise you'll eventually lose a lot of money. So please follow a specific strategy. We have seen so many setups where these breakouts and these moving average crossovers and these support and resistance lines are working really well. So just use a simple strategy and then trade crypto. I'm sure that you're going to be very profitable just using very simple but strict strategies. So that was it for this week's recap on what's happening in the crypto space. I still think a lot of these cryptos are looking totally fine. There is nothing to worry about, as long as there is not a lot of selling, and then we see those huge red candles with very high volume. So until that happens, we are all good. Please wait for the setups to occur on the chart before you actually go in and put your money into all of these cryptocurrencies. Other than that, everything seems good. Thank you so much for watching this. I'll see you guys in some other video. Goodbye.